Hi friends, once again KT series here from the channel Karthik Tuition. In this video, we are going to start with a new concept from the chapter Statistics. Now this is one of the very vast topic. In a school section, you have very small parts from the topic. It is just you can say is the basic concepts you have. But if you understand this, your college section study, which involves the statistics, will become very easy. So let's start with this. Now see, what do you mean by statistics? Now statistics is nothing else but collection of large data, presentation of data, analysis of data, and drawing a conclusion from it. Now the best example is KBC. Whenever an contestant selects audience poll, so audience around there gives their voting. So that is a collection of data. Then their votes are presented in a form of a graph. So that is a presentation of data. Now looking at the graph, the contestant analyzes which answer should be the correct. So that is analysis. And from that it draws the conclusion. So basically statistics is nothing else but collection of large data, presentation of data, analysis and conclusion. Now let's proceed further. Now see, in this chapter, you always talk about measure of central tendency. Now that means where maximum data is accumulated or pinpointing the data. Now it involves three parts: mean, median, and mode. Now mean has three methods. First is direct method, second is assume mean method, which is also known as shift of origin method, and the last is step deviation method, which is also known as shift of origin and scale method. Now, if you know assume mean method, you will be very much comfortable with the step deviation method. But in this video, we are just going to talk about direct method. Now see, in this chapter, we'll be always be dealing with the group data. Now what do you mean by group data? When the range of the data is very large, we always go for group data. We always go for group data. Let's have a look at one example. See, I have taken the classes where I have the group of 1 to 10, 11 to 20, and 21 to 30. And this is its frequency 5, 7, and 10. Now, when I say group, what I have done, suppose there is a test of 30 marks. So I have made the data in three groups. Students who have scored 1 to 10 will come in a first group. Students who have scored between 11 to 20 will come in a second group. And students who have scored from 21 to 30 will come in a third group. Now, how many students have scored between 1 to 10? 5. How many have scored between 11 to 20? 7. And 21 to 30? 10. So what I have done, since the marks was till 30, it will become too large for us for understanding and presenting. We have made a small group of 10 marks. Hence, it is called as group data. I hope you understood till here. Now, we'll talk about class width. Now, class width is nothing else but the strength of the group. Here, how do we get the class width? It is the difference between consecutive lower limits or consecutive upper limits. Now see, in a group 1 to 10, 1 is your lower limit and 10 is your upper limit. In a group of 11 to 20, 11 is your lower limit, 20 is your upper limit. And in a group of 21 to 30, 21 is your lower limit and 30 is your upper limit. Now first formula says it is subtracting the two consecutive lower limits, means the difference between two consecutive lower limits. Now the two consecutive lower limits are 1 and 11. So when you find the difference, 11 minus 1 will give us what? 10. So in other words, the class width is 10. Same way, you can also get by subtracting two consecutive upper limits. For example, 10 and 20, they are consecutive upper limits. Now when you find the difference, 20 minus 10 will give us 10. So this is a way to find the class width of a class. Now let's proceed further. I hope you know the meaning of class mark. It is nothing else but midpoint of the class. Midpoint of the class. Now how do we get the class mark for that class? That is lower limit plus upper limit upon 2. Sir, ye kaise? See, I have taken one small example. I have taken the class 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30. Now to get the class mark, as the formula says, lower limit plus upper limit upon 2. Now for the first class, the lower limit is 1, upper limit is 10. So 1 plus 10 upon 2 will give us 11 upon 2. And when you divide it, it becomes 5.5. Same way, 11 plus 20 upon 2. So that is 21 upon 2. When you divide it, you'll get it as 15.5. 21 to 30. Now in this 21 plus 30 upon 2 will give us 25.5. So we have got the class mark. Now, next part I have considered is continuous classes. I hope you have studied this in your previous standard also. Now, basic difference in first example and second example is, in a first example, if you consider 1 to 10, the next class from 11 to 20. Now, in that, the lower limit of the second class is not the upper limit of the first class. But whereas second example, if you consider, see the class is 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Now here, if you observe for the second class, 10 is the lower limit, but it is also the upper limit for the previous class. Same way, if you consider the class 20 to 30, here the lower limit is 20, which is also the upper limit for the previous class. So the second example is of continuous classes. Now here, to find the class mark, again the concept is same. 0 plus 10 upon 2. What is the answer you'll get? 5. 10 plus 20 upon 2. So the answer you'll get it as 15. 20 plus 30 upon 2. So 50 upon 2 will give us 25. And in entire chapter, the class mark is always denoted by xi. Is always denoted by xi, where I stands for the class mark number of that class. Let's have a look at the next part. Now see, in direct method, there are only two steps. First, you need to prepare a table with a 4 columns, where the first column will be for the classes, second is for class mark, third is for the frequency, and the last is our product of class mark with its frequency, that is fi xi. Then we need to find the class width. The last row is of total. We need to find the total of frequency, which is denoted by summation of fi, and we need to find the total of column fi xi, which is denoted by summation of fi xi. Now class mark is always denoted by xi and frequency is always denoted by fi. Now let's have a look at the formula to find the mean in a direct method. Remember, all three methods has a different formula to find the mean. So you have to learn the formula separately for each method. Now for direct method, the formula is summation of fi xi upon summation of fi. I hope you all know that mean is always denoted by x bar. Now here the formula is what? Summation of fi xi upon summation of fi. Just to remember it in a short way, fixie fee, that is fi xi upon fi. Now let's start with the one sum for the understanding. The following table shows the number of students and the time they utilize daily for their studies. Find the mean time spent by the students for their studies by the direct method. See, this is directly applicable to you all. Now here we are talking about students only and how much time they utilize for their studies. They have asked us to find the mean time spent by the students for their studies by direct method. So let's start. Now, as I told you, our first step is to prepare a table with the 4 columns. Now, 4 columns, first will be for the classes, second will be class mark, third will be frequency, and fourth column will be fixie, fi, xi. Now here, our class is time, that is in hours. Then we'll write all the values of the classes which is given to us. Then the third column will be for the number of students, that is our frequency. That is 7, 18, 12, 10, 3. Now see, our second column is for the class mark, that is xi. Now how do we get the class mark? Lower limit plus upper limit upon 2. Now for the first class, the lower limit is what? 0. The upper limit is 2. So 0 plus 2 upon 2 will give us 1. Now let's first find the class width. Class width हमने अभी सीखा था कैसे फाइंड करते हैं? Difference between any two consecutive lower limits or upper limits. For example, if you find the difference between 2 and 0, what is 2 minus 0? You get 2. So your class width here is 2. Now to get the next class mark, you don't have to do the working again. You have to just be smart. You have to just add class width to the previous class mark. So uska matlab, see, the first class mark is 1. So here when I add it 2, it becomes 3. So my next class mark will become 3. 1 plus 2 will give us 3. Now for the next class mark, 3 plus 2 will give us 5. So it is 5. So next will become 7, then will become 9. Now we have got all the values for the class mark. Now last column is fixie, that is frequency has to be multiplied with its respective class mark. Now see, in a first row, the class mark is 1, frequency is 7. So when we multiply, it becomes 1 into 7, that is 7. 3 into 18 becomes 54. 5 into 12 becomes 60. 7 into 10 becomes 70. 9 into 3 becomes 27. Now, after that, we have to find the total. Total किसका find करना है? Summation of fi, summation of fixi. So first we need to find the total of fi column, that is frequency. 7 plus 18 plus 12 plus 10 plus 3 will give us 50. Then we need to find the total for the column fixi. So 7 plus 54 plus 60 plus 70 plus 27 will give us 218. I hope you have understood till here. Half of the sum is done. Now we'll learn how to find the mean. We are going to use the formula. The mean is denoted by x bar, and the formula is what? Summation of fixi upon summation of fi. Now we are ready with the values. Let's substitute the values. What is summation of fixi? It is 218 upon 50. Now see, here we need to do the division. I have also shown the division for your understanding because many students find it difficult to divide. See, we are going to divide 218 by 50. Now, first of all, if we just take the first two digits, it is 21, which is less than 50. So we will take all the three digits together, that is 218. Now we have to find a multiple of 50 such that either it should be equivalent to 218 or it should be less than 218. Now 54 gives us 200. So 218 minus 200 will give us 18. Now after that, we can get 0 first. If I take first 0, I need to add decimal. So I'll in a quotient, I'll add decimal and then I'll get first 0. Now after that, again 15 threes are 150. Now 180 minus 150 will give us 30. Now we can take 10. So here 56 gives us 300 and now your remainder is 0. So basically when you divide 218 by 50, you get 4.36. Now remember, every statistics sum should have the answer in statement form with the units. Now where you will find the units? You will find the units in a first column. The data is of time in hours, so your units will be hours. So your answer statement will be the mean time spent by the students for their studies is 4.36 hours. Hope you have understood this. I have taken one more example for understanding. Let's have a look at this. A milk center sold milk to 50 customers. The table below given the number of customers and the milk they purchase. Find the mean of the milk sold by the direct method. Now remember, if the method is mentioned in a question paper, you have to solve by that specific method only. If you solve it by some any other method, you will not get the marks for it. So if the method is mentioned direct method, you have to solve it by direct method. Now here again for direct method, we need to prepare a table of how many columns? 4 columns. So first you will prepare a proper table using pencil and scale with the 4 columns, where first column will be for the milk sold in liters. Now write the values. Then second column is for class mark. Third column is for the customers, that is frequency. So write down the frequency. Now let's go to the second column. See here. First we'll find the width of the class. 2 minus 1 gives us 1. So our width is class width is 1. Now class mark. How do we get the class mark? Lower limit plus upper limit upon 2. First class, the lower limit is 1 and the upper limit is 2. So 1 plus 2 upon 2. Now that will give us 3 upon 2. And when you divide 3 upon 2, you get the answer as 1.5. Now after that, you don't need to do any work. You have to just add the class width to it. So 1.5 plus 1 will give us 2.5. Then 2.5 plus 1 will give us 3.5. 3.5 plus 1 gives us 4.5. 4.5 plus 1 gives us 5.5. Now after that, we'll go to the last column, that is fixi, fixi. We need to multiply class mark with its respective frequency. So 1.5 into 17 will give us 25.5. 2.5 into 13 will give us 32.5. 3.5 into 10 will give us 35. 4.5 into 7 will give us 31.5. 5.5 into 3 will give us 16.5. Now after that, we need to find the total. We will find the total of frequency column and fixi. So summation of fi. Now summation of fi, that means 17 plus 13 plus 10 plus 7 plus 3. When you add, you get it 50. Now after that, we will find the total of fixi. So it is 25.5 plus 32.5 plus 35 plus 31.5 plus 16.5. So here the total becomes 140. Now please take a note. It is just a coincidence that in both the sum frequency total ends up to 50. In every sum you will not get it 50. Now we'll use the formula to get the mean. Now mean is denoted by x bar and the formula is what? Summation of fixi upon summation of fi. So here it is 141 upon 50. Now again we are going to see the working of it. 141 divided by 50. Now 50 twos are is 100. So 100, 141 minus 100 will give us 41. Now again we'll take first zero. So we need to place the decimal in a quotient plus and then we can take the zero. Now 58 are 400. So you're left with 10. Now we can take 10. So here it is what? 2s are. So your answer is 2.82. Now your first column is nothing else but milk sold in liters. So when you write the answer in statement form, again the units will be liters. So what is the statement form answer? The milk sold is 2.82 liters. I hope you have understood this method. If you have found this video helpful, do share it with your friends. Also, do mention your comments in my comment section. Do like, share and subscribe my channel for the regular updates. In the next video, we are going to talk about the second method, that is assume mean method. Stay tuned. Thank you.